It's the New Normal Podcast with Adam Brandt.
Hey there. Thanks for tuning in to It's the New Normal Podcast. I'm your host, Adam, aka the Chubby Snowbird. I just got back from a lovely walk on this beautiful Groundhog Day. Or is it Groundhog's Day? Whichever it is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say winter is over down here in Southwest Florida, whether the rodent saw his shadow or not. Thank God. January was like the Energizer Bunny month. It just kept going. On and on. It was much colder than normal in Florida, but those temps up north, whoo-wee, cold. Like the look Kamala gave Obama as he laughed it up with Trump. Ice fucking cold. Speaking of ice, it's not often the snow in Florida's followed up by ice. I gotta tell you, my lawn hasn't been cut in 3 weeks. Anyhow, January's been one heck of a month. Let's get into it. Obviously, the biggest story to come out of January 2025 is the beginning of President Trump's second term. For half the country, it's a time of jubilant celebration, hope for America. For the other half,
fear, disgust, hatred.
How the fuck are we so far apart when it comes to this one man? If we look back at his first term, all the same fear was spewed.
He's Russian. He's Hitler.
He's gonna take away health care. He's gonna kill the gays. That was 2016. Here we are in 2025. And here comes the same shit. I have trouble understanding things sometimes, especially things that don't make sense. During his first term, Trump didn't lock them all up. He never drained the swamp. Obamacare, or the ACA, whichever you call it, is still intact. Gays, ladies, minorities, transgender folks, none of them were rounded up and taken to re-education camps. Why would anyone think he's going to do that shit this time around? If anyone has an answer to that, with factual-based analysis, I'd love to hear it, along with 75 plus million like-minded Americans. Conservatives get it. You guys hate Donald Trump. You made it abundantly clear the last go-around. At least this time, you could have thought of some new shit to talk about. For the party of progress, it must really sting to be stuck in 2016. I don't want to get bogged down in a pissing match between Trump supporters and haters. But it is a good start to getting into today's theme, playing the blame game. We get it. Trump is back in the White House because Americans are racist, misogynist, xenophobic, homophobic, transphobic pigs. At least, that's where the left is placing their blame. No way could it have been the disastrous Biden presidency, the wide open borders, the corruption, the weaponization of the Justice Department, the sheer narcissistic anointing of Kamala. She couldn't get the votes when she ran.
So hey, let's just force her out on the American public.
And I gotta say, for a populace that's been continually dumbed down for decades, at least there's a shred of common sense left. Inauguration Day proves that. Until the Dems can look in the mirror and admit they fucked up, most people don't want to hear their tired rants and self-important talking downs on the rest of us. If Trump wasn't enough to set the world ablaze, actual fucking fires in California would surely do the trick. As we speak on the devastating fires, I'm so happy to announce that all fires in Southern California are 100% contained. Getting them under control is the first step in the recovery and rebuilding phase. My heart goes out to everyone affected by the fires, and I pray that some semblance of normal returns sooner rather than later. Of course, There's no better opportunity to play the blame game than during time of crisis. This isn't the first time California's burned, nor will it be the last time. It's been burning out there since before humans decided to populate it, and it will surely burn long after we've been removed from the planet. Is it really anybody's fault when a tornado rips through Kansas and destroys a community? There's not many stories blaming the governor or mayor for what the tornado destroyed. Sure, they'll get some shit and how they handle it, but weather or Mother Nature is solely to blame for the tornado. These fires in California were a weather-related calamity. Strong winds, dry air, it's an annual occurrence out there. Wouldn't it be great if we could only blame the weather? You see, wildfires are a bit different than tornadoes. I'm old enough to remember Smokey the Bear. He had this saying,
"Only you can prevent forest fires."
for you youngsters, imagine Ted, the crazy little teddy bear, wearing a fireman hat and a bit less vulgar. Maybe that's what we need in 2025. A Smokey the Bear with a bit more attitude.
Only you can prevent wildfires if you stop being a fucking idiot.
Idiot number 1, Los Angeles' mayor. Has she gotten a fair shake in all of this? Probably not. But when you've got the sense to issue warnings, and you're expecting crazy shit to go down, how on earth do you abandon your ship and head off to Africa? She's a mayor. Not the Secretary of State. She's not an ambassador. A fucking mayor. Her number 1 job is Los Angeles. She could have canceled the trip and went on TV imploring Californians to take this fire threat seriously. She didn't. She put herself firmly in number 1 position for the blame game. Once shit hit the fan, she could have used the crisis to rise up and show her leadership skills. All she had to do was come out and say, "I fucked up." Isn't that what we all crave as a leader? One that takes responsibility? Grow some fucking balls and own it. Guess what would have happened next? The media is unable to continually attack and run alternative narratives, all because someone stepped up, took blame, and moved forward. It sounds so easy, but no. Our leaders are spineless asshats that only survive to blame someone or something else. Newsom surely believes he's got a presidential future. He's got the charisma, the hair, the smile. And like most other politicians, on both sides, I'll add, he's got that "wasn't my fault" line of bullshit we've all came to expect from them. Here we've got the governor of California with his one job, to keep California safe. And he blew it. Are the fires his fault? Nope. Maybe. Probably not directly. But once again, a leader has an opportunity to turn a crisis into a political win. Just take responsibility. Hey, Gavin, why are the hydrants empty? What happened to all the rainwater from the atmospheric rivers last spring? Imagine Gavin just coming out and saying, "I fucked up. I could have directed the water elsewhere. I could have ordered workers to clean up the underbrush." Even a simple, "I failed to do everything I could, but I'm working harder than ever to make sure this doesn't happen again." It would be so refreshing to watch a politician own some shit. Instead, they blame each other. They blame some endangered flower, an endangered trout. You know what endangers shit? Out of control fucking fires. Before human intervention, fires burned across the globe. Things died. Plants, animals, whatnot. Nature's way of things. Now, us almighty humans think we will redirect natural selection. And we're going to save shit. We're probably going to try to save the shit we endangered in the first place. It's noble, but the unintended consequences always seem to bite us in the ass. Sure, we saved a flower from being mowed down for safer utility poles and utility lines. Guess what? Mother Nature just burned that flower to the ground, along with the habitat of numerous species, including humans. So whose fault is it? The truth, all of us. We love the dramatization of all things. As refreshing as it sounds to have a leader step up and accept blame, it's just not must-see TV. We'd much rather watch Tarantino's new flick, Empty Reservoir Dogs. Just as the news starts calming down from the fires, bam! We've got helicopters taking down airplanes and planes falling from the sky. Talk about fear and blame. The whole country is blaming one another for what's most likely to be pilot error causing an accident. But what good is an accident if the so-called leaders can't turn it into a populace dividing nightmare that instills a fear of air travel? Air travel is the safest form of travel by far. Accidents just aren't allowed to happen.
We must hunt down the perpetrator.
Hate to break it to you, but the perpetrator went down with the helicopter. The pilot simply fucked up.
Oh, no. It's the DEI hires.
No, it's air traffic controller.
No. It's Pete Hegseth.
Whose first thought must have been, was that a lady pilot? Or, oh, fuck, I'm gonna need a drink. First day on the job. Sorry, dude. Can you imagine being scolded by a bunch of fucking drunks in government, imploring that government work is so important that you can't let your hair down and have a cocktail? Anyhow, if I were looking to place blame, I'd try to find the moron who scheduled nighttime flying training at the end of a runway of one of our nation's busiest airports. Where is this fucking idiot?
Nope. Let's blame Trump and Biden, and Buttigieg, and night vision. That makes for much better talking points on the news channels.
67 people perished in the accident. It's tragic and was preventable. The conspiracies pop up. Russian spy figure skaters, unmanned helicopter, and so on. If any kind of leader would just step up and take even an iota of responsibility, the theories would be put to rest. Take plane number 2. This thing dropped out of the sky, a big fireball over Philadelphia. It destroyed everything in its path all the way to the ground. They found blame early on. It was equipment malfunction. Damn it, that's too boring. Maybe we'll have to stick with the first accident caused by Trump due to the high price of eggs. You know, if fires and mid-air accidents failed to get your New Year revving, maybe mass deportations will get your juices flowing. Just last week, me and the missus decided to head out for Taco Tuesday. We love the tacos. We love the Tuesdays. We went to our normal spot, ordered a pitcher of margarita. After a sip or two, I decided I'd like some water. Jose came back. I asked for an ice water. Guess I used the wrong verbiage. They scattered like underage drinkers at a house party when the cops show up. Needless to say, my tacos never came. Seriously, we've had an immigration problem since 1492. Somebody is going to have to fix it. These politicians have vowed for decades to get something done on our border. The Clintons passed legislation to build a wall. Obama deported a ton of unwelcome visitors. Trump, the guy elected to do what he said he would, directs ICE to hunt down the worst criminal aliens hiding in our cities, and the left goes fucking nuts. They're comparing this to the Gestapo rounding up the Jews, inciting fear and panic. Guess what? If you're here illegally, you should be afraid. While many invaders come here to assimilate to American culture, many more are only here to take advantage of our own ineptitude to get behind a plan on what to do with immigrants. There is a legal path to citizenship for folks all around the globe. Just because you're fortunate enough to be able to walk across our border doesn't give you any more right to stay here than, let's say, a Russian. Oh man, could you imagine if Russia was on our southern border? This fucking wall would touch the sky and be a mile thick concrete. Nobody should expect entrance to our country based off their geographic closeness to us. A Venezuelan killer is no different than a Russian killer. Yet, we let the Venezuelan walk right in. Then we clothe, feed, and house the motherfucker. Once they fuck up and get arrested, our sanctuary assholes release them right back onto our streets. Wow! Wow! So here's these liberal assholes letting criminals right back onto the streets. Dangerous, bad hombres. ICE finally gets permission to come to town and hunt down these criminal douchebags. Oh, Sanctuary Sam says, "We won't help you, and ICE is ruining our streets. We can't believe they're busting down doors in our town." The irony of all this, had Sanctuary Sam just kept the worst criminals behind bars after they committed crimes, ICE wouldn't have to be going door to door, busting them down, searching every nook and cranny for these assholes. They'd just retrieve them from custody and then airdrop them back in their home countries. Really, why should we keep them? Their home countries don't want them back. God bless our bleeding hearts. We're the moral people police of the world. That's only until laws start being followed. Then we cry that we're leaving this shithole country. Oh, damn you, America. Good fucking luck. Nobody wants you. Most of the world hates us. Yet our progressive populace thinks they're just as welcome in Canada or Australia as the drug dealers, rapists, and child traffickers are here. The USA is the greatest country on earth. The fact that criminals will risk everything to get here should prove that without a doubt. I don't hear anyone saying, "I wish I could go live the Ukrainian dream." Problem with a bleeding heart. At some point, it runs out of blood. The powers that be love keeping us divided, especially when it comes to the border. There's always someone new to blame on the continuous failures. It was Bush. No, Clinton. No, the farmers wanting cheap labor. No, it was Biden. No, it's the border czar. Nope. Hey, Congress had this thing passed, and then Trump fucked it. Back and forth, on and on. Finally, somebody's owning it. Trump is doing what's lawful and right for the country. The opposition is flooding the airwaves with optics conveying a different message. But I think I have a simplified message that I would hope unifies us on the immigration front. It is very simple. Listen up here. We're all to blame. Conservatives invited these Southern folks over for cheap labor so they could turn more profit. The Democrats want to keep them, and they want more to expand their voter rolls. But what do Americans ultimately want? We want more money. We want to be successful. You cannot expect wage growth in America if you continue to let a steady flow of workers come in our country and work for much less than Americans. Well, it's the new normal. They do the jobs that Americans won't do. The America I know isn't too good for any job. Americans would be doing them. Had we not gotten used to paying tax-dodging, system-breaking, job-stealing illegals for doing work that Americans are fully capable of accomplishing? All right, the year hasn't been all doom and gloom. My wife and I spend much of winter catching up on our shows. January was a great month for 2 of those shows. First, Silo finished up season 2. I don't want to spoil anything. I just want to say that if you're into rebuilding civilization after some kind of apocalyptic event, you should really check it out. It's basically people living underground trying to keep order as the air outside is unbreathable. Second show I've got to recommend is Severance. It's just great TV. There's so many layers to explore. You watch it, then hours later you're laying in bed wondering about the shit you never dreamed of. If I had to explain it without giving too much away, I'd compare it to one of my favorite movies, Office Space. I don't know if you've seen it, but one of the characters, Peter, he was the main guy. He was visiting a hypnotist because he was depressed and he just hated his job. And I remember this scene. He's like, "Is there just any way that you could just zonk me out so there's no way that I'll know I'm at work? You know, just come home and think I've been fishing all day." I mean, just a great scene. Silo and Severance really helped break the monotony of January. If you haven't seen either show, they are both available on Apple TV. No, I'm not a shill for Apple TV or nothing like that. Anyhow, I had fun today. I hope you've been entertained. So much so that you'll subscribe to the show and find Chubby Snowbird on socials. And maybe you'll even hit me up for a chat. Till next time, thanks for listening. Peace out.